Good morning, and welcome to the beloved community at River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, both here in person and live streamed on Zoom and Facebook Live. My name is Peter Fox, my pronouns are he and him, and I serve this congregation this morning as your worship host and as a member of our awesome choir. We especially want to welcome our visitors this morning and hope you'll stay for coffee after the service and stop by our welcome table, if you haven't already done so, to let us know how to stay in touch with you. For all of you here in this room, it is wonderful to see your faces on this beautiful South Florida autumn morning. It's finally starting to cool down. And for all of you who have joined us on Zoom or Facebook Live, we are so happy to see you, to have you here with us as well. However you made your way among us this morning, we welcome you. At River of Grass, we are committed to our mission to nurture our spirits, live intentionally, and create a just and healthy planet. River of Grass is an unapologetically progressive home for seekers of truth, boldly told, love freely given, hope never failing, answering the call for peace and justice for all living things and the earth, our home. We open wide our doors and our hearts to you as you are, as we come together on this journey of transformation for ourselves and our world. May our sacred time together be one of caring, courage, and a call to action. And in our way of caring, we draw your attention to our new blanket ministry sponsored by our hospitality team. The temperature, as you may know, in this room can vary. The airflow is a little tricky. Some can feel uncomfortably hot or cold, so we try to keep the temperature at a happy medium. For those who feel warm, please remember to dress accordingly. For those who feel cold, please take one of our freshly laundered blankets in the basket by the welcoming table. And after the service, please just leave the blanket on your chair, and our wonderful hospitality team will ensure that they are clean and ready for use again next week.
Good morning. I could use a little less volume here. Put that in your calendar, I actually said that. I am so happy to be back with you this morning. So grateful to see you. So grateful for all of you who kept all of this rolling while I was in my medical respite. I'm happy to say that I'm doing well and much better by infinitude seeing you today. You're a big dose of medicine. I hope you know that. Body, mind, and spirit. As we conclude our October theme of vision, we consider a particular aspect of vision. To let you who serve this beloved community at River of Grass know that you are seen. We see you. We see you. We love you. We thank you. As captured in these words by the Reverend Dr. Stephen J. Crump, now retired and Minister Emeritus to our congregation in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You make the coffee, set up the tables, organize the cleaning when the rest of us have gone home. You know where the brooms and supplies are kept. You run to the store in the nick of time. You find the great stuff to sell at the fundraiser. You remember to use I language. You speak passionately with a clear voice and listen with open-mindedness. You consider your tone when you speak. You say you want to be part of the solution, part of the healing by hanging in there. You come up with new ideas. You gracefully accept the group choosing someone else's ideas. You step up to make the extra contribution. You make welcoming room for others. You acknowledge children and are happy to be around them. You hold a child, hold a confidence, hold a hand. You go the extra mile, contribute the extra dollar, and give the extra benefit of the doubt. You know that congregational life is all about relationships. And because you know this, your spiritual discipline of forgiveness is always at hand. You, with your presence alone, offer holy companionship. You accompany others in their dark night of the soul. You do what you do because you can. You often wish you could do more. You labor not for praise or for a song, but for the good and the doing of good work. We sing this song of praise for you, the unsung, in our congregation. Our hearts are glad in the singing because we know the many things you do. We see you. We love you. We appreciate you. And now we open our hearts to the sung word with this month's theme hymn, Emma's Revolutions, Keep On Moving Forward, with our River of Grass Choir, led by Theo Lucas. Please rise in body or in spirit as you are so moved.
Keep on moving forward. Keep on Keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gotta keep on loving boldly.
Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gonna reach across our border.
Reach across our border. Reach across our border. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gonna end the occupation.
And the occupation. And the occupation. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gonna stop these wars together.
Stop these wars together. Stop these wars together. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gotta keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Wow.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, a fierce fire of religious liberty shining generation to generation, now ours to hold high. This morning we welcome another new chalice lighter, Katie Wallace-Coker, who will share her Kindler project with us before lighting her own chalice along with the flame from ours.
We light this chalice. The river grass UU chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism faith. We light this chalice as a symbol of hope. May you find hope and love within a river of grass family. Where did the chalice come from? Hans Witt, an Austrian artist, first brought together the chalice and flame as a Unitarian symbol during his work with the Unitarian Service Committee during World War II. A chalice or goblet is a footed cup intended to hold a drink. The holy chalice is also known as the Holy Grail. The chalice is a symbol of hope, gives faith to those who need it, and brings light in the dark. The end.
Look at this, y'all.
please now join your voices with words on our screen. May this flame be a beacon of the faith we uphold, a torch for the truth we unfold, a light of love so bold, in the work of our hearts and hands, this and every day. In this undying light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together, love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant,
to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love,
and
to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta congregación y el servicio su ley principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente.
Please turn to number 131 in our gray hymnal, or see the screen above as we sing together our beloved hymn, Love Will Guide Us. Please rise together in body or in spirit as you are so moved as we sing together.
In our community each week, we share pieces of our lives. We take a moment to share our joys and sorrows and gratitudes. Here with the people who love us for exactly who we are, where we are right now. Here in the room, we will share from the book. If you're in Zoom and would like to share a thought, a prayer, a joy, or concern with us in this moment, write it in the chat and we will lift them up together. We'll pause briefly to give our Zoom folks a little more time if needed. Susan sketch a journal, writes, we light a candle for peace in the world, peace in our hearts, and that love may prevail. Have anything on Zoom? I am so grateful to the technical crew working to upgrade our video abilities and that they discovered that the AC wasn't working because they were at the river yesterday. Believe it or not, the AC was fixed before you all arrived. That was, can't see who that is. Hang on a second.
It's got to be Susan.
Shout out to Kat. addition, Jeannie says, I'm glad to be out of the hospital and back with my friends at River of Grass.
And now in the quiet of this hour, we know that there are things on our hearts, things that we carried in with us that we have not put into the written or the spoken word, or things that may have arisen for us in the time we have been here together so far this morning. And so we have made this time where we can mark these things with a moment of silent reflection with these stones of reflection. So if there is something on your heart you would like to mark with us, to bring into the power of this community, please come forward as you are so moved and drop a stone into the waters of cleansing and reflection.
It's pathetic because my dad was in the Navy, so we'll have to talk outside.
source of all, called by so many names, none of which we can fully know or understand. We bring these things, written and unwritten, spoken and unspoken, into this place of power, this place of love and compassion, this place of dreams and hope and action for the work of the world, for the good of transformation of ourselves and all. We ask that our hearts be seen even as we become seers of hearts. We know that our joys shared are multiplied and our burdens shared are lightened. We are so grateful that we have this place that holds us as we are and walks with us into the places we become. We are mindful in the world that there is so much that can feel so heavy, and also so much that still calls us onward into a better day. Ever it has been throughout the history of humankind, ever it shall be. This is our time to make a new way towards a new world. We ask that we be pardoned for those things we have failed to do or done that we wish we had not. And we ask for courage and strength to do those things which we know we must and we should. Make of us a bold, caring people, fierce with love and hope that never dies. All these things we lift in the name of all that is holy. Amen, amen, amin, aho, ashe, namaste. Blessed be. And so it is. Gary, would you lead us in our sung affirmation?
You've got a wisdom story, of course, for our children. Karen?
Good morning. Thank you.
I timed that.
Today's wisdom tale comes from the New Testament in the Christian Bible. Our younger class has been studying the Bible this year. You haven't come to this story just yet. But that means that this story is over 2,000 years old. It's a story about one of the many miracles that are attributed to the prophet Jesus. Jesus was such a popular preacher that everywhere he went, crowds followed him. One day, he and his disciples went way out into the countryside to get away from the crowds, but the people still followed him. Jesus sat atop a hillside and spoke to them. Years later, his disciples said there were about 5,000 people in this crowd. So imagine your school cafeteria, cafetorium, times 5, filled with people. It's a lot of people. Jesus told the people many things. Love your neighbor as yourself, share what you have with others, don't build a treasure on earth, but instead build treasure in heaven. And the people listened, captivated by his words. As the day wore on and the sun began to set, the disciples started to worry. Many people had come without food, and there were no nearby villages where people could go and eat. The disciples urged Jesus to send the crowd away before it got too late. But Jesus said, "Don't worry. You can give them something to eat. How much food do we have?" The disciples looked in their packs and brought out 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. Something like that. For 5,000 people, no worries. This would not be enough to feed 5,000 people, but Jesus again said, don't worry. He blessed the food, put it in the baskets, and the disciples distributed the food around the crowd. And it was then, it is said, that the miracle happened. Everybody had enough to eat. Even though the disciples had only put 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread in the baskets, in fact, there was so much food that they actually had baskets of food left over when everyone was done. Some people believe that this was a miracle from God, that God used his power to multiply the food so that everyone had more than enough to eat. But perhaps this was a miracle created by the people who were there listening to Jesus. They had heard Jesus' message, and when they saw the disciples freely give their food to feed others, those who had also brought food for the day, with some of their food in the baskets too. You see, people in those days rarely traveled without some food with them. There were no fast food joints after all. And when everyone shared what they had, they discovered there was plenty of food for everyone. The solution didn't come from God. The solution came from the generosity of the people. We have a Unitarian Universalist value statement that reads, we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. I think Jesus would like our value of generosity and is centered in love.
Let's sing our youngins to class. Each week at River of Grass, to better know ourselves and our faith as Unitarian Universalists, we consider those among us who made history and those who are making history as we speak. This morning we find our heritage in Clara Barton, our 19th century Unitarian, our 19th century Universalist foremother, Clarissa Harlow Barton, known as Clara, is one of the most honored women in American history. Barton risked her life to bring supplies to support soldiers in the field during the Civil War. With this, she founded the American Red Cross in 1881 at the age of 59 and led it for the next 23 years. Her understanding of the ways she could provide help to people in distress guided her throughout her life. By the force of her personal example, she opened paths to the new field of volunteer service. Her intense devotion to serving others resulted in enough achievements to fill several ordinary lifetimes. This is our heritage of service. And also know that there are Unitarian Universalists with varying levels of expertise and skill volunteering with the Red Cross, Samaritan's Purse, and other organizations throughout the world, especially right now in the wake of 2 hurricanes in a row in North Florida, North Carolina. They are there on the ground now. This is our heritage of service. This morning we find our hope in Max Solomon Fry. When Max Solomon Fry discovered training to provide peer pastoral care for his fellow youth, it changed his life. He says, young men are not really given the tools to care for friends and family in an emotionally vulnerable way. Solomon Fry is a young adult whose hometown congregation is the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Rockland County, New York. He was so inspired by his experience that he began facilitating trainings and assisting in the growth of the Peer Pastoral Care for Youth program, a new frontier for intra-community support for UU youth. The program empowers young people to nurture themselves and each other, to expand UU community's capacity to offer safe places for youth in crisis, and to provide the next generation of Unitarian Universalists with tools to implement justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. This is our hope in our tradition of service.
We sustain and strengthen this community and its work in our world through the gifts of our time, our skills, our love, and our money. Each Sunday, a quarter of our undesignated offerings go to LifeNet for Families, which provides meals, clothing, and support for those in need here in Broward County. The remainder supports our mission and ministry at River of Grass. Ushers, please come forward to receive the offering. You can also give via the QR code on the screen and find several ways to contribute on the donate page of our website. That's riverofgrassuu.org. Please give generously and joyfully for our labors of love.
From you I receive, you I give, together we share, and this we live. To you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Thank you so much for these generous gifts.
My happy place. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. This is the wisdom of the Hindu Nobel philosopher, poet, and composer Rabindranath Tagore at the turn of the 20th century. While you know him for his writings from poetry to textbooks, most prominently his Gitanjali about divine and human love, you may not know that Tagore was a member of the Brahmo Samaj. Brahmo Samaj, a liberal Hindu movement that incorporated modern Unitarian spirituality in the 20th century and 19th century, that birthed the ministries of many Hindu, Unitarian, Universalist, and Unitarian ministers, including those who have mentored my own call into service of this great faith we share. Above all, Tagore taught us that the holy can be found through personal discovery and human service. Personal discovery and human service. For us as Unitarian Universalists, these are also core tenets of our faith and our work in this world as we transform it and ourselves toward beloved community. Personal discovery and human service. Though sometimes we tend to give ourselves more to the first than the second. But honestly, I don't think we really mean to. I think we really do mean to give ourselves to both discovering who and what and why we are here on earth in this place and at this time and with each other, and to serving one another and our community and the greater good of all. I mean, look how we can go into action when the moment calls for it. When threat arises or disaster strikes, whether in our neighborhood or for our neighbors far-flung around the world. I mean, damn. We know how to show up in the moment. But sometimes, when it comes to the more routine, nitty-gritty, day in, day out, essential nuts and bolts tasks necessary to sustain the work we do, that build new ways for a new world, sometimes we kind of fall down on that. And there are some different reasons for why that could be. First is awareness. For whatever reason, we may not even see, we may not even know or notice the work at hand that needs to be done. Or we may see it but not fully understand it, and so can't place ourselves in it. Second, personal perception. We may see it, and we may understand it, but we may not think that we're qualified for it, or that we're ready for it. Or third, is a sense of responsibility. We may be fully aware and understand and feel more or less qualified or able to learn the tasks that need to be done, but for some reason, we just don't think that the work at hand is really ours to do. Sometimes we want all the good stuff to be here for us, expecting that others will do it for us. My beloveds, my dear ones, hearts of my heart and soul siblings on this journey of transformation we share, that's not how it works in the life of a congregation. That's not how it works for the life of this congregation. River of Grass rides this river of faith and transformation together. Here we do not just find a seat on the boat and expect others to row. Okay, so how does our blue boat keep afloat and moving forward around here in these times? We have 4 standing committees that are in our bylaws, and we have a whole bunch of other committees and teams and task groups taking up oars on a daily basis in all kinds of ways, mostly for little things that add up to the big things that we do together to prove the old adage that many hands make light work. So here this morning are 4 areas of our congregational life that are looking to you for how you can contribute and how you can become involved. First is one of our standing committees, worship. Kathy is our chair.
Hi, I'm Kathy James Blanco. My pronouns are she and her. Now I want to tell you, when I was in maybe junior high, I said to my mom, I want to go to church, like my friends. Now, my mother, an avowed atheist, hadn't taken us to church, but she took me every Sunday, dropped me off, and picked me up. So there I am, in the congregation, in Sunday school, and I've been a teenager maybe. I only saw the facade, the minister, the choir director, the Sunday school teacher. I didn't think anything about what else was going on. Eventually, I found Unitarian Universalism and was thrilled to be in this faith where I didn't have to mouth words I didn't believe. I could explore different paths. But I also discovered this crazy denomination, faith, gives their minister a Sunday off every month. Now this I'd never seen. I just didn't understand it. But on those Sundays off, there were lay people who gave the services, and they were good. I was totally amazed. So then I moved down to Florida, went to the Fort Lauderdale church, and of course became involved, joined the choir, and some other stuff. And about a year after I came, they asked me to join the board as president. Yeah, and I said, okay, because they said, all you have to do is run board meetings. What did I learn? A whole lot of what it takes a church to run. And then I came to Rivergrass and found not only a faith in people and like-thinking people, but a warm and welcoming community. So of course I got involved. Steve got involved with the social justice stuff. I, of course, joined the choir, but took some part in worship. I've been on the board. I was a trustee, a treasurer, and recently a president. And I've always been involved in finding more to do. But my true love, my passion, is worship and lay-led services. Now, as worship chair, I kind of look at it like the worship chair is a stage manager that makes sure that everything's in place, everyone's in the places where they're supposed to be with their bright, smiling faces, and I'm happy. It's kind of like the visual of the duck. You know, he's floating along on the surface, but paddling like crazy underneath. That's what it appears like. Look around you. There are people here who do so much. Over here at the tech table, there's somebody on the sound, there's somebody running the PowerPoint as well as creating it. Here in the middle we have Ken running the camera, but also on the other end of it we have a Zoom host who's at home making sure that the Zoom people get the quality that they need. We have hospitality, I mean just everything, ushers. There's a ton of people that go into this Sunday service. So what I do to organize that is we have teams. We have an usher team, we have a sound team, we have a PowerPoint team, we have a camera team. Eventually we'll have a great camera team if we ever get the cameras running, but we will because we've got some really fantastic volunteers working to make this work. So what we need is some of those teams are kind of lean. You'll see the same people alternating. Camera, PowerPoint, sound, doing multiple tasks, maybe not all at the same time, but every week there are people doing things. Right now, Ken and Britt and Maureen are alternating somewhat to run the cameras. It's amazing. So this is what we're looking for. It's not highly technical. Really doesn't need a whole lot of technical ability. I actually ran the soundboard in the summer, and I'm not a technical person. Of course, it was basic sound, but I did it. So we're looking for people who have joy in serving this congregation. There's so many ways to do it within the worship community.
Thank you, Kathy. I want to tell you one of the best parts of working with worship is it is a collaborative co-creation. Every single aspect of what goes into our being together on Sunday morning is co-created by all of these people. At one point we counted up it's something like from top to bottom, from the beginnings of the ideas to the actual doing of our time together here this morning. There's something like 12 to 16 people involved for every service. Some of them can be you. We would love to have your ideas. We would love to have some of the things that you think about. Maybe you sit here and worship and go, you know, I wish that we did such and so. Come be part of co-creating our experience together. One of the other things, one of our other standing committees, a second standing committee, is our finance committee. Now, Aisa's going to speak to us about that for a second. Come on up, Aisa. And while Aisa's making her way up, I want to, finance sounds like it's dry and decimal place oriented. You know what? Some of the most sincere, inspirational moments of community and love and passion and hope have come over me in our finance committee meetings. Because our finance team doesn't just look at line items and decimal places, they look at why we do everything we do. And if how we use our money, if how we use our treasure completes our mission in this world and sustains all of us in our growth together. Aisa?
Thank you. Yes, hello, good morning. My name is Aisa Butra. My pronouns are she and her. As treasurer of our cherished River of Grass, it's an honor to serve our congregation. As treasurer, I also serve on the finance committee. Our finance committee works behind the scenes to safeguard our financial health, focusing on careful budgeting, financial planning, and transparency, ensuring our resources are used in ways that serve us all. And so now I'm going to pause from what I wrote so that I can give you a little more information. One of the things that impressed me so much when I joined this congregation, I don't even know how many years ago, 6 or 7, was that the transparency. I had never been part of a congregation that posted treasurer reports for everyone to see all the money all the income that the congregation had and how it was spent. I was blown away by that so many years ago and impressed, and I thought, you know what, that's a group that I can be a part of, because if I'm going to contribute my energy and my resources, I want to know how it's all operating. So I think that's incredibly valuable, and I truly appreciate that. So again, that transparency is to me very important. As a small business owner who wears many hats, my roles on the board and finance committee allow me to apply my skills to benefit the River of Grass while also growing professionally. It's incredible how, just my experience with QuickBooks, not Quick Schools. It's just that in my school we use Quick Schools and I get them confused. And at the last board meeting, I just kept saying, Quick Schools, but they all knew what I meant. They all knew what I meant. And my experience with Excel, and I think part of what I want to say is, not everybody has these skills. QuickBooks, not everybody knows it. Excel, not everybody has a lot of experience with Excel. So I felt so honored that I could use these skills to contribute to my congregation, because I felt selfish otherwise, knowing that these are skills that could truly help the congregation out. But not only am I able to help the congregation, but this experience as treasurer and being part of the finance committee has helped me with my business, because I could say, as a small business owner, my budgeting and my planning, budgeting, and all of that wasn't all the best, because you're able to make decisions like on the fly, like, oh, we need a new printer, buy it, without really looking at the budget and thinking, can we afford this, can we do this? So that's what I mean by I've grown professionally, because I've gotten better at planning and budgeting and executing so that I can operate within my financial limitations. So that's been truly amazing. I really appreciate that. So, but more than my enhanced financial skills, what I gained here is a deep sense of spiritual fulfillment and motivation, which come from being part of this community in such meaningful ways. It's a joy to give back to a place that has given me so much.
And you don't need to know QuickBooks and Excel to be part of it. What you need is discernment, creativity, inspiration, and integrity. So you look at how it is transparent. Our budget's available for anybody to look at, and I'm including all the rationale for why it is the way it is. And you can look at that and go, well, I don't really want to use the spreadsheet, but why do we spend this? Or why don't we spend this? And how could spending this grow our influence in this community and in this world and grow us as a congregation? So there's a lot to it that's way past the numbers, and it really is a fascinating process. So think about how you might be part of that as well. Another one of our standing committees is our membership committee. Diane Diaz is going to talk to us a little bit about what membership does. You know, it's kind of a overarching word, right, for membership, but we are members. So how did that happen? That happens because we have people who work in membership here for River Grass. Come on up, Diane.
It's still making. I'll definitely resign when I can't even get up to step. Okay, Leanna's a coward. She just ran away to see her new grandbaby. But I'm here in her stead. She's not only president of the congregation starting this year, but she's still the membership chair. Because she is so amazing. It's hard for any of us, and I've been there. I've been doing membership as a committee member and several times as chair over the last 20 years. And Leanna, believe it or not, is the one who wrote me in. So, but we do everything. It shouldn't even be called membership. It should be called fellowship team. Because, yeah, oh man, the membership thing is easy, like 50 and 4, okay? I counted 50 people here, including 4 kids, so the total was 54. That's one of the simple jobs that we do every Sunday. But we also run the auction, and our diehard, Ellie, is away this week, but she is manning the whole auction team. I mean, and that's another function of the membership or the fellowship team, which we are. Then there's an annual picnic. So we need people to do work on that. We've been blessed by having the Perez donate their house, their beautiful pool and grounds, and their barbecue pit for our annual picnics. And we hope we'll have one in 2025. If you hearken back to February, we had our 25th anniversary party. Guess what team was really involved in that? Yeah. Membership, fellowship team. Okay. So we do everything. And then on the dry end of things, Leanna is incredible with keeping the tallies. We have to report membership, loss and gain, and friends, and who's moved away, and report it all to the UUA. And she keeps the books too. But we need people to help out in this because, like other teams, we don't have enough folks. And we also need parties. Yes. That's another thing we're involved in. Yes. Okay. So if we have any party animals, or people who can smile, like I tried to smile a lot today at the desk. You don't have to do it all the time. You know, we pick and choose or we volunteer. And we have a lot of fun. And that's the way I've started to remember the newer faces, because after a while, and as you get older, you don't remember them as well. So it gives us, you know, bonuses being part of this, and whatever else we're called upon to do. And we hope that Leanna comes back very, very soon. But in the meantime, I'm here today, and I'll be at hospitality if you have any other questions. about any of the other stuff we do, please volunteer. And while we're here, anybody who's been involved with the membership team, would you stand up? Okay, hey, hey. We have some people absent today, but we need more of you, and it's a lot of fun. And just to go back to when I first came, it gave me a purpose when I was a new member, you know. Oh, wow, they want me, you know, to do stuff, but not overwhelming. So I invite you, talk to me, talk to Leanna when she gets back, or Amy, or any of our other lovely team members, and help out Ellie with the auction too, when she gets back. That'll be fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you love to party? Love to plan a party? Love to help people feel welcome? Let me tell you something. Across congregations, this is a story everywhere. People remember who met them at the door the very first time. So think about it, especially those of us who've been around a while now. Think about what it can take for a person who doesn't know this place, who doesn't know these people, but is looking for something, looking for meaning, looking for community, looking to be seen and to be appreciated and to be loved and to find a way to make it through this world and to help others make it through this world. And to hear about Unitarian Universalism and to hear about this place called River of Grass, that's kind of an interesting name. I think maybe I'll go check this out. Imagine what it takes to do that for the first time on a Sunday morning. Never mind if there have been experiences in the past that have hurt our hearts around religion and we're not quite sure if we're going to be okay with this. And you come through the door and you are met with a loving, warm heart. And you're offered a place to sit. And someone will notice that you're new. Invite you for coffee. Ask who you are. Ask how you find us. What can we do to serve you? So, membership is that open-armed welcome that people first encounter when they come to the door. How awesome and essential and miraculous is that? I remember the first time I walked into a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and I remember who greeted me and how. You can be that. You can be that. So these three lead us to the things that happen after our service on Sunday morning. And for some folks, that's their most fun part. Drea's going to talk to us about hospitality. And hospitality is what it says it is, right? I mean, we love coffee, right? Hey, listen, in 2 weeks when the doctor cleared me to have coffee again, I knew I would live.
Hi, everybody. So coffee is really in our past, since unimaginable ages past, since the days of our ancestors, we've come together. We put dried leaves or ground seeds into water, and we enjoy the comfort of the results. And we come together over food and drink, and we take respite from the work and pain of each day in each other and the warmth of community. We tell tales, we share stories, and we care for each other as we tend to the needs of our bodies. And at the same time, we feed our hearts and our souls. And today is no different, although the world is much changed. Food, comforting libations, and the togetherness that come from sharing them with each other, those simple gifts are what help build our connections. They move us from sitting passively next to each other and listening to engaging with each other, learning about each other. Food and drink are not just necessary for the body, the sharing of them with each other is necessary for the heart and soul. And so I take great satisfaction in ensuring that the dried leaves and the ground seeds to put into the water are there for us, that we have some little treats to enjoy while we connect and feed our souls with the love that only others can help us express through that mutual sharing. And I feel connected to all my ancestors back through the ages when we huddled together in a younger world under the blazing stars, and we shared that same comfort and togetherness. Every time I see someone's enjoyment in a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a small treat that is there, my soul is fed. And I find the strength to carry on again, to pick up the work of another week, fueled by the love of the community that we share. I also personally find a bit of a respite from anxiety in keeping busy. It's hard to be overly anxious when you're focused on getting something done, so it helps me. And the doing of it gives me a lot of joy. And I'm reminded again and again that we are never alone. And so that's why I volunteer with hospitality. So if anyone else feels moved to help enable that sharing, the hospitality team welcomes you. You can find me any day, any time to find out how we can help. You don't need to do anything terribly special or amazing, making sure there's coffee, and it's really welcoming. I think that's the biggest job of hospitality, is greeting people when they come back and making sure that they have the comfort that they're looking for and they have that opportunity to connect. So thank you all for coming, for sharing yourselves with us. There will be coffee and tea in the back, and I look forward to talking to you.
So worship and finance and membership and hospitality, these are just a handful of people from a handful of our working groups that make this place go. Let's show all 4 of our representatives some huge love right now. And here's the cool thing. You really do not have to already know how to do any of this to go ahead and grab an oar and get going in rowing this river with us. So you can get with Kathy, you can get with Aisa, you can get with Diane, you can get with Drea, you can get with Ken for facilities, you can get with Gary for music, you can get with Britt for more PowerPoint information. There are any number of ways. We have a new IT team that needs to get going to help handle our office computers and such. We have a new media team getting going to get these beautiful cameras to actually do what they have promised they will do, and to be sure that all of our systems are working well. We're in the process of hiring a new music director, so we will want more folks in the choir, more folks involved in our musical aspects. So there are many other ways that we do these things we do for love at River of Grass, because we know that many hands make love work. Many hands make love work. So here's what I want us to think about as we think about this. People don't volunteer for their congregation any more than they babysit their own children. Let me say that again. People don't volunteer for their congregation any more than they babysit their own children. Parents don't babysit their children. They care for them. They nurture them. They tend to them. They work to support them. They protect them. They guide them. And they grow them because they love them. So do you love this place? Do you want it to be here, not only for us in this time, but for our neighbors and our community and for the world that desperately wants and needs what we have found here? We We want it for generations to come. We want it for our children and their children and their children, that there may be an ever-growing place for progressive Unitarian Universalism in Broward County for ages to come, that we will be the ancestors that made that happen. I know you do. I know you do. So don't babysit. Nurture, nourish, engage, contribute, offer your skills and your time and your effort and your energy and your wisdom and your joy in ways great and small. Believe me, we've got plenty to go around, from the tiniest little one-off tasks to long-term visionary work for who we're going to be and how we're going to be that. So whatever you do, don't volunteer. Awaken, act, serve. As our ancestor brother Rabindranath Tagore taught us, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. May it be so. May we be so. Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together with the video of a very precious piece to us.
La
Nicely done.
We extinguish this chalice,
Who put that together?
but not the warmth of community, not the fire of commitment, and not the light that calls us on. Please listen as we explore the ways that we live our Unitarian Universalist faith in the coming days.
At River of Grass, we know that Sunday is just the first day of the week filled with opportunities to live our Unitarian Universalist faith. It's a faith in a world starved for the kind of love that we know. You can find these opportunities in our weekly email, on our Facebook page, and our website at riverofgrassuu.org. Here are some ways to fulfill our mission and vision in the coming days. First of all, we've got an auction coming up in less than 3 weeks. 3 weeks from last night, folks. So, the auction committee has been getting a lot of questions. How can I get my ticket for the soiree auction party? Go to silentauctionpro.org. That's silentauctionpro.org to get your ticket. It's only $35 a person. .com, I'm sorry. silentauctionpro.com. Thank you. $35 a ticket. I promise you an amazing night. How can I get my auction number for bidding at the soiree auction? Go to silentauctionpro.com. Where do I find donation forms? We have them here at the hospitality desk, or go to River of Grass UU webpage under the event, then go to auction. There you will find the forms. If it's not fillable, it is not fillable. I don't know why not, but you can give us all the information in a Word doc, okay? Okay, what else? What needs to be sent to the auction committee at auction@riverofgrassuu.org? Well, auction donation items, information for items, certificates, gift cards, pictures are helpful. When and how do I bring my donations? Well, bring all your items to our service next Sunday, the 3rd, following Sunday, the 10th of November, and a week later will be the auction itself. All you have to do is leave them at the welcome table. How can I help out at the soiree auction party? I thought you'd never ask. Well, we need help. We need help setting up on Friday, the 15th of November, and during the day on the 16th. All you need to do is contact Ellie, talk to Pam, talk to me, any number of ways. Just go to auction@riverofgrassuu.org, okay? That's number one. What else do we have? Okay, on Thursday, we're up for this? Yes, okay. Thursday, November 14th, the River Film Group Movies for Change will gather on Zoom to discuss Joan Baez's I Am a Noise. It's a raw and intimate documentary depiction of the legendary activist and folk singer's personal journey from pain to peace and forgiveness. For information, see Steve or Kathy Jens-Rakow, or go to movies, that's MUUVIES @riverofgrassuu.org. Let's see. Do you long for deep connections, meaningful relationships, and connection to strong communities? And who doesn't? Then attend the Sunshine Cluster's webinar, Growing Congregations, with Peter Bowden. It's on Saturday, November 16th at 2 p.m. And this Zoom program will explore how small group ministries, community building events, and relational strategies can help us grow in both depth and membership. To register, see Kathy Jens-Rakow or email sunshinecluster2024@gmail.com. Ready?
In this season that the veil between worlds grows thin, it is also a time that we gather in remembrance of those who have gone before. This next Sunday will be our annual Ancestor Sunday, where we remember those who came before us and guide us still. This year we will also honor other kinds of grief and loss that we carry with us from day to day. The title of the service is Gratitude and Grief. We will hold both of those in our hearts and in our hands together next Sunday. So bring a photo of ancestors or beloveds who have gone from this place or time, or a memento that symbolizes them, or a memento that symbolizes some item in your life where you have experienced loss that you want for us to lift up together in community, and we will gather these things together in the power of our gathered spirits. So please remember to do that for this next Sunday. And another very important item for this next Sunday.
So, can you unmute number 7? Hello. Yeah, we are. So I was sure that I sent out the language for the announcement to Susan and to Sandy to put in our weekly email that meditation is happening in person as well as on Zoom here in our space. We gather at 8:30 in the morning and have an opportunity to meditate for 30 minutes together. If that
What day
works
of
for
the
you.
week?
This is Sunday morning. And so it turns out it was in my drafts and I never sent it. So I was wondering why I was sitting all alone. I wasn't all alone. Ken was here with the air conditioning person.
Meditating.
My folks on Zoom who have been doing this for years were there. So you can still attend on Zoom if that works for you, but a lot of people feel like in person is what they need. And so I will be here every Sunday morning, or someone will be here in my stead if I'm not. 8:30, we gather and chat. If you're new to it, I can teach you how we do this. And then we start meditation at 8:45.
Thank you. Okay, 2 more. The women's group will be meeting next Sunday, November 3rd at 7 p.m., both in person here at the, yes, good, got it, in person here at the congregational office and virtually to deepen our connections and share discussion. Our definition of women is expansive and includes anyone who feels that they belong in this space, including those who identify as non-binary. And finally, please remember it's time to return our clocks to our ancestors' timekeeping. Standard time, next Saturday night. Sunday morning, we turn our clocks back. Remember, fall back. In the spring, we spring forward, right? We're falling back next Sunday. So, we gain an hour of sleep, which can put us in harmony, back in harmony with sun time, but it can make you miss the service if you kind of forget, or you wind up coming an hour early. It can be confusing. So don't forget, we fall back next Sunday, get an extra hour of sleep, and we'll be here at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, our ancestors' time. Okay? Thank you.
Yes, so remember to set your sundials, and the sun now returns into harmony with Stonehenge. So all of our ancestors' timekeeping devices will now be correct. There's a harmony in that. I'm so grateful to be with you today. I have missed you terribly. And I've felt your love, and I've received your flowers and your cards and all of your thoughts, and I can feel your prayers and meditations, and I am eternally grateful. Eternally grateful. Thank you. Healing is in you. Healing is in you. As we depart this place for this moment in time, let us hold before our eyes the vision of a world transformed and dare to transform ourselves to make it so. Until we meet again, shine on.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.